the light. All these people here to see my dad. Daddy, were you surprised?
Completely.
You had no idea, huh? You
No
thought it
idea.
was a little amusing.
There were so many twins here. I mean, you know, everybody.
They all look like you.
But I think I missed some people in the other end.
Okay, we'll go sit.
I thought I was supposed to sign something.
Now, how surprised were you, really? Now, what was the ruse? What was the ruse to get you here?
Oh, I had a letter about the Board of Exhibits.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, everyone was there. That's great. Guards, everybody.
Yeah, urgent. Dear Jared, as if you had not done enough for the Borgen project already, I need to recruit you for an important function related to it. The folks in the Humanities Council are holding a formal meeting at the museum in which we will be asked to sign some papers. They have specifically required to be done by the member of the museum's governing body most involved in the planning of the exhibition. I'm afraid that means you. See, no good deed ever goes unpunished.
Oh, wonderful.
And there's more to it, but that's nice.
Brenda, you're good.
Well, what a great surprise, huh? Hey. Some of your daughters came over.
Good to see you. Happy birthday. Good. Doing fine. You've already seen her. I saw her.
Hi. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. A big one. Keep on going that way. You got to go that way. Good to see you. You've met once before.
Aaron, good evening. Happy birthday. Rosa sent her true apologies for lying to you. She was devastated to do that. We made her.
I have a lot of fun with this story.
Hi. How are you? Great to see you. It's nice to see you. I didn't know it was you. I know. People are like,
So we have this Borgen exhibit here I've been involved with. I got this note.
Nobody knows who you are.
I'm not going to do my office after I go to Peace Day. I live in Alabama. She's like, I don't know she's playing. She's going to Egypt. I thought I was going to try to dress up. I used to way up in the morning. So you have the bucks. They have to look there. Yesterday, actually, you were there? Yesterday. Well,
Not at all. Your father is a straight guy. And I think probably he's one of the most gentle people I know. And I think that's good. There are many people like for peace, but he's peaceful, which is even better. I think your father is, one of the most gentle people I know, and I admire him for that. And I'm kind of jealous of him for that. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Come on.
Oh, come on. What kind of sign do you need?
What do you
Get
want
the
to know?
light here.
What do you want to know?
Oh, funny memories you have of my dad. Or anything you want to say about it. Get together more. Get together more.
Okay, I'm the productionist.
Yeah, help me here, Betty. What's your name?
Yeah, okay, good. Actually,
You do have a name, don't you?
would it work out better if squish it down?
We used to work with us.
You
And
where?
he was gainfully employed by a Union Carbide.
You did?
Back in 1951 in Bound New Jersey. And your dad somehow got a job there. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to con somebody into it. And so that's how we got to know him.
He lived on Mount Horeb Road in Martinsville,
Oh my
a place
gosh.
called Sunrise Farm.
Was that in the Red Door? Were you part
No,
of the
no.
Red Door?
Then he lived at the Red Door later.
And that was the one with all the guys, right?
Sunrise Farm had all the guys and great parties, and then the Red Door had guys too. So I lived
How
with
many
him.
guys?
I lived with him both places.
You did?
Sunrise Farm had about Sunrise Farm had about 6, and Red Door had about 5 or 6, depending.
And did everyone work at Union Carbide?
Oh no. At Sunrise Farm, John's Manville was also an employer, and then Red Door was everybody. Like several Carbide, but a little mix of everything. So, there.
What else can I say?
Come on. How do you
Come
know
on,
my
come on.
dad? What are some funny memories you have of my
We
dad?
had some wild
let's see, I'll tell you.
wild
Garrett
party.
never wanted to get married. No, that's a funny thing, right? I don't know what age he was when he got married. But Brenda considered herself very
36?
lucky because my wife was trying to fix up Garrett for so many years.
She was.
She must have knocked his socks off because they got engaged after like 2 weeks, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the girls were always attacking him.
Always trying to
And I've got some pictures to prove it.
Well, I've seen those pictures of him.
In fact, I brought him up here. If you'll notice.
We had
Oh,
some
good.
wild parties. We won't tell you all the details.
Proverbial bachelor.
Oh, good.
It'll cost you money for the details.
All right, any last comments to Dad?
No, he's a great guy, and we all love the guy.
We had a lot of good
Wish him a very happy 70th and many, many
When you
more.
go back 50 years ago.
Good.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You were still,
I am his daughter.
Okay.
I'm his daughter's friend.
Okay, this is a little birthday video for my dad.
Oh, we're just starting it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Go.
I think that Garrett is probably, I know this should be funny, but I can't make it funny. Because he is one of the finest, most admirable, most honest, most congenial person I've ever met, and most generous. So I wish him a very happy 70th, and may God bless him for 70 more years.
Happy birthday, Garrett. You really look great for 102.
And Garrett, we're going to get those guys on the tennis court one of these days.
Go, rolling.
we're all so happy we could be here to help you all and Garrett celebrate his birthday. Seems like only yesterday that he was a teenager running around the farm. Now he's all grown up with a family, and just great to be together. I'm glad we could be here.
When I was a young lad, I was got into some trouble, and my parents brought me to Uncle Garrett for some help and counseling, and so Uncle Garrett was my godfather, and Garrett and I threw parties for Garrett, so he gave me some advice, and his advice to me was that when he was a boy, he got caught stealing tomatoes from the next door neighbors. So I felt in good company when Uncle Garrett gave me that advice.
Whoa, that's the first time I remember all that. Or just anything you want to say about any funny things.
Well, I remember when he had the house with a bunch of his buddies out in, I don't know, it was by the seashore, and Mom and all us kids went out there just what a bachelor wanted. It was his married sister and a bunch of kids running around the house. It was my 12th birthday. Yeah.
He was a high level, I understand.
What else? Well, I remember like he was in the Navy, but I don't remember him being here. I remember him being Union Carbide. I remember I went to visit him and Brenda when they were living up in Boston when he was a Sloan Fellowship fellow. And I remember when he met Brenda, or I was just telling somebody who worked there, that he moved into this apartment in New York, a studio apartment in New York. And about 6 weeks later, he was riding up the elevator with the manager, the janitor, and the janitor looked at him. Did I ever turn on the gas stove? And Uncle Garrett had no clue. Lived there 6 weeks, didn't know if the stove worked. I should have mine. 2, 3. Happy birthday, Garrett. Wow, yeah.
Is it gone?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no lighter. I just wanted to remind Garrett of the fact that I was hunter-gatherer with him when I was, 3 or 5 years old. He came to visit us in Farmington, Rhode Island, and we went out crabbing. And I was directing him to row the boat left, row the boat right, and I'm sure that by the time we got done, he was very cross with me. And about 45 or 50 years later now, I want to apologize. But
We've taken him boating since then.
Yeah, we have.
We're in a very nice boat that we didn't have to row at all.
But we want to wish him a very, very happy 70th birthday, and we're so happy to be with him tonight. And Mom and Dad send their very best to him.
Okay. Are you recording? Let's say happy birthday, Uncle Garrett. Take the glass out of your mouth, and we can hear you real clear. Hope you have many, many more, because when you turn 100, we'll have a really good time at your party. We'll all be 50, and then some.
I'm sorry, it's really not. Hi, Mr. Lidecker, happy birthday. We are so happy to be here.
Happy birthday.
And I want to let you know that we think that you are one of our favorite people, and we aspire to be just like you and Mrs. Lidecker.
And we also hope that your present doesn't get borrowed too often. Once you see it, you'll understand.
We've had so many great times at your house. You and Mrs. Lidecker are the ultimate host and hostess. And we thank you for all of your hospitality over the years. We love you, and we wish you many, many more happy birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Wish your daughters were married. Happy birthday to you.
Wonderful photograph of Garrett that was sent out recently. Now, you all have fans, and you're supposed to take it out tomorrow morning and put it in your lawn and vote for him on Tuesday. Actually, I do appreciate the fact that the photograph was cropped, and they did remove that set of numbers that the police department had. The reason why this is on the 29th is that Brenda had already rented Garrett out for the Halloween weekend. You know, I ran into Garrett in the gym the other day, and he was getting dressed and struggling into a girdle. I said, "Since when have you been wearing a girdle?" And he replied, "Since my wife found it in the back seat of the car." Well, he does look a little different than Randy has. The first place he's put on a few pounds. And then again, he's put a few pounds on in the second place as well. You know, he ordered a pizza last week, and the order taker asked whether he wanted it sliced into 6 pieces or 8 pieces. He said, "No, make it 6. I couldn't possibly eat 8 pieces." You know, the other day, Brenda announced that October 28th is my husband's birthday. So what are you going to get for him, I asked. And she said, "Make me an offer." Truly, Garrett is a really thoughtful husband devoted to his wife. And each year on her birthday, he faithfully takes her out for donuts and coffee. And she really doesn't mind giving blood. Garrett just passed me a note that he wants Brenda to come up and croon happy birthday to him. He hopes thereby to sell her dress for $1 million. You know, I overheard Garrett calling the psychic hotline recently just to try them out. And "Who's calling me?" a person asked. And Garrett says, "You tell me." One of his children asked if he would take them to the zoo. He said, "No, if the zoo wants you, they'll come to get you." Actually, he once told Brenda he was taking the kids to the zoo. When they got home, Brenda asked the kids what they thought of the animals. "Well," said one, "there was one animal that paid 30 to 1. He gave his children some instructions on tipping in restaurants. He said that if the head waiter kisses your hand as you're leaving, you've over-tipped. He went to the doctor complaining that he had insomnia. Doctor told him not to lose any sleep over it. Of course, we all know the best cure for insomnia is getting plenty of sleep. He was having a physical, and the doctor said he should try running in place. In place of what, he asked. The doctor told him that, quite frankly, he couldn't make him any younger. "I know that, Garrett Pye, just make sure I grow older." He went to an acupuncture specialist one time and struck for $200. You know, he's quite the golfer. He missed a hole in one the other day by 6 strokes. The doctor suggested he take up water sports, but to him, golf is a water sport. In the beginning of his career, he was after rich people and their riches. Then he discovered that rich money was tainted. It tain't yours and it tain't mine. That reminds me of a limerick. There once was a ferret named Garrett who thought he had lots of merit, chasing after the buck, but it was only sheer luck to actually, in reality, snare it. He once had a great success early on in his business career. He was selling signs door to door. The signs read, "No solicitors." You know, he was at a dinner recently, and somebody jumped up and said, "My wallet is missing. It's got over $5,000 in it. I'll give $100 to anybody who finds it and returns it." Garrett immediately leaped up and said, "I'll give $200. I think lots of people must know you, Garrett. Garrett, as you know, is a successful investor. and he was asked once to speak on his investment wisdom at a dinner. I can hear that introduction now. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest dope on Wall Street. I asked Garrett if the gyrations of the stock market didn't give him high blood pressure. He said, no, if my blood pressure hit 180, I'd split it 2 for 1. He is, however, quite the economist. He recently said millions of Americans aren't working, but thank God they got jobs. Garrett is prepared and organized for Y2K. He bought all of the available calendars for the year 1900. Seriously, you may not have known that he provides people with a lifetime of advice in just one sitting. At least they never come back. I asked him for $100 worth of advice. That entitles you to 2 questions, he said. Only 2 questions for $100? Isn't that rather steep? I asked. Garrett replied, yes, it is. What is your second question? I went to the theater with him once, and he left after the first act. The program said, Act 2 a week later. You would be surprised to know that Garrett is a person of daring, humor, and imagination. At least that's what the IRS said when they saw his tax return. The only reason Garrett isn't famous is that nobody's ever heard of him. I thought I'd get a rise out of it. Garrett would never go to a nude beach because he feels absolutely naked without his clothes on. Garrett is, however, proud of his Leidecker ancestry. He spent $5,000 having the Leidecker family tree researched. Then spent $10,000 to hush it up. But let's be honest, it is easier to criticize than to praise. The individual we are honoring tonight is not exactly a genius. Some might say he's a couple of hot dogs short of a picnic. But beneath that self-effacing exterior lies a magnificent spirit, full of enthusiasm, always ready to help, and a true friend of all. There are many wonderful Leideckers, but only one Garrett. I'd like to propose a toast for our victim, honoree. We wish you the 4 L's: love, laughter, loyalty, and longevity.
That was Uncle Richard. Marvelous. Thank you. Richard, that was just marvelous.
I do want to toast you and tell you that you've been a really nice neighbor with all your children, all of whom have changed so much. They are so gorgeous, and look at you, take it. Have you ever seen anything like Margaret? Look at her. Stand up, Margaret. Always steady. Imagine being married to Brenda.
I'm not savvy with video cameras.
And Garrett, one thing I would like to do, if it's all right, is read, or can I share that letter that you have?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if all of you are aware of how he got here tonight. Can I do this? Garrett is a very important person in many, many ways, certainly in our neighborhood, but even more broadly across the universe. He is on the board of directors of this august organization called the Stanford Museum and Nature Center. And I don't know if any of you, or all of you, know how he got here tonight. Because you all were gathered. Hello? What did you say?
Tell us.
He is on the board of the museum here, and so he got a letter from a person who is a very important person here at the museum, and it says, urgent. Dear Garrett, as if you had not done enough already for the Borglum project, I need to recruit you for an important function related to it. The folks from the Humanities Council, you know, a funder, are holding a formal meeting at the museum in which we will be asked to sign some papers. They have specifically required that it be done by a member of the museum's governing body, most involved in the planning of the exhibition. And I hope you've all seen the Guts and Borglum exhibit out here. He's the one who carved the Mount Rushmore. And you lived in Stanford. I digress. I am afraid that this means you, Garrett. See, no good deed ever goes unpunished. So this group will meet at the auditorium, guess when? On Friday evening, October 29th at 6:30 p.m. They inform me that they will only need your presence for a very short while. I'm sorry to have to involve you in this bit of paperwork, but considering that they gave us over $66,000, I did not feel I could argue with them. Thanks very much, and best wishes, Rosie. So that's how I'm back here tonight. Anyway, I also, before I sit down, I also want to say thank you to Brenda, because this was nothing short of a magical evening, or it is nothing short of a magical evening. It's just great, and I can't begin to think of the hours that went into planning it. I don't have any clue how many people are here, but I certainly a lot more than I've ever seen in my life. So, I mean, I think it's a great tribute to Garrett that you're all here, and thank you to Brenda. Let's hear it for Brenda.
A rather subtle sense of humor. And there are two stories that I enjoy about Garrett, which are revolved around his two school classmates, Bert Shaw and Cy Schoonmaker. It seems that a number of years ago, Garrett and Bert were involved in a farm up in the Catskills. And they had a number of cows and animals up there. And one year, Garrett butchered one of the cows with Cy and told Internal Revenue Service that the poor cow was one of the best cows he had, was killed by an auto on the highway, so he had to take a tax deduction. The other story I like is involved with his high school reunion. It seems that Garrett was out in the Midwest and couldn't attend the reunion, but Bert Shaw was going to be there. So Garrett wrote a letter to the president of the class and was very apologetic that he couldn't make the reunion, but he sent his regards to everybody in his class and said that he had made arrangements with Bert Shaw to buy everybody a drink. So Bert was inundated with classmates to get a drink on Garrett. But I think Bert had to pay.
Quite sure what. And Garrett will decide, but
It's so amazing. This night's finally here, and we can openly stand up and cheer. No need for secrecy, nothing to hide. No lies, no promises kept well inside. Brenda, the mastermind, planning this do, pondering details of our rendezvous with her dear Dutchman, who would have a fit if he knew what she had spent on this bit. Oh, it's been fun pulling wool over eyes, changing my voice in the hope to disguise fact that I'd telephoned yet once again. Damn him for answering instead of Bren. For there was so much to cover and say. ideas and changes occurring each day. One time, when we planned to shop for supplies, Brenda was fearful her man might get wise, thought rather quickly, and gave him the news. Margie and I have gone looking for shoes. Shoes. Wouldn't you know, at the end of that day, Garrett and I were rehearsing to play handbells, which are part of Thursday's routine, when, with a twinkle and barely a lean, he said, "Say, Marge, Brenda said it was great looking for shoes on your earlier date." Shoes were our cover. Shoes were our code. That is till Bize helped lighten our load. Last week, from Florida, I made a call. Had to give updates to Bren from you all. But guess who answered? And guess who was out? Thus, once again, I deceitfully spout. I have a question about opera, my dear. You'll have to wait until Brenda is here. Tell me, what is it that you need to know? Bize wrote Carmen, but what other show? Oh, God forgive me for lying so well, and saints preserve us from going to hell. Lamb to the slaughter, he fell for our zings, or graciously chose not to complicate things. Now we are here, and we're feting this boy. Truly a wonder, truly a joy, truly the essence of goodness is he. Proud he's my friend, and I'm his devotee. Join with me now in an elegant toast, or, if you like, in a decadent roast. Here's to the skier, the tennis buff too, beekeeper's keeper, and master of zoo. Here's to a man who is gentle and kind, loving and loyal, and so happily resigned to making this world and his ticker tape purr. Cheers, Mr. Softheart, Mr. Hardhack, and her. Bravo, dear Garrett. You're what we choose, especially when we go looking for shoes.
Morning. Betty, sorry, I don't want to have some stories to tell.
I'm going to start by saying that we've been fortunate to inherit Dad and Mom's good looks. And so as a result, we've gone out on a lot of dates. And going on a lot of dates, of course, causes a lot of, there's a lot of stories that have come out of our many dates. And one of them is, Ellie actually has some great stories too, but I don't know if I should let her tell her stories too, but dating in the 90s is a little different than dating in the 40s. 40s in the 40s. Dad's idea, Dad's stories about dating and what our expectations should be are very different from how, I think that in the 90s dating is. So one story is we I don't know who did this first, but I think probably all of us conspired together. We're always asking Dad for money, you know. And Dad, you know, we're going to the date tonight, and you know, we're going to need $50. And Dad's typical response is, $30? What do you need $10 for? And Dad is always very funny. He's given us advice over the years that, you know, we kind of...
I thought when I had girls, I wouldn't have to pay for anything. Dad, you have to pay for us. What would they think?
His advice is, you know, it's the least a man can do. Pay for your dinner. And then Ellie's advice, as Ellie would say back to him,
My advice is, but Dad, if they pay for dinner, what will they want to do?
And some of his words of wisdom to us over the years. Okay, there's two last little words of advice that Dad has given us that I can stand out of my mind, being the eldest of 5 children. One is, the truth always comes out. So, you know, in other words, monitor your behavior. And the other one is, never do anything you wouldn't have on the front page of the newspaper. And with that, I will defer to Ellie and Garrett.
I think Dad said that for me.
I have a very funny story of my dad. This is his typical sense of humor. When I used to live in Spain, and one time I called back home to see how everything was doing, and he said, oh, you know, your mother's into a new project these days. She's taking up some honeybees in our backyard. And I was like, wow, bees, wax candle, that's so great. We can bottle it and have our own label, and how cool would that be? And he's like, and I'm like, how many bees are there? And he's like, wow, I think there are about 90,000 bees. You know, it seems like a big thing, and they seem like very friendly bees. I just can't remember all their names.
Although we've shared all these funny stories, the one thing I do want to say is that we do have the best dad in the whole wide world. And that he has more patience than anyone could ever imagine. He has laughter at the right time. He's always been there for a hug. You're going through a tough time. He always has the words of wisdom. He always knows what to say. And he's always there for you no matter what it is. And it's such a great feeling to sit up here and to be able to say, this is our dad. And it's such a blessing.
For me, growing up, I can't remember one day where my dad didn't tell me that he loved all of us too. So that's a really big thing. We love you, Dad. We're so happy you're here. Mom has always encouraged us to be independent thinkers, as you can imagine, and always kind of have our own personalities. And so many times we tried to prove him wrong. And we're like, you know, Dad, you're wrong. We're going to do it our way. And every time, he was right. And no matter how much, and you know what, he never ever said, I told you so. Never. He still loved us unconditionally and accepted us, and no matter what crazy ideas we had, which we had a lot, he always supported us. You want to be president of the United States? I support you. And here are the steps you need to take to do it. First, you want to be on the Board of Education. You want to be yeah, first. And so we are very, very grateful. And I can't remember, just like Marty said, one day when he wasn't supportive, thoughtful, understanding, an awesome listener, and just let us go through all the things we, life and understanding, and just we're very, very grateful for everything. We all agree that we're the luckiest kids in the world. So.
I could just say that I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet to have a father like him who's put up with pretty much everything you can imagine. Having the same name, I can just remember my dad getting the police reports of Garrett Lidecker in there. And the junior was always too small for his liking. Expensive facts and letters. But I can say that everything I've done in my life, my dad has supported it, whether it be disco bands or whatever I wanted to do. I remember one time sitting on a porch when he was with a friend of his, and he's like, I have an MBA from MIT, my wife's got a master's from Berkeley, and my kid does disco. He's like, go figure, you're going out, go on, rock on. And I don't know, I can't say enough about what a wonderful person and role model he's been for me. And I just hope that when I have kids, I can be half the father that he is to me.
Anything. Okay, ready? Rolling. Get together. Come on.
Say something, Cyrus.
Cyrus is the spokesperson.
Okay.
We're glad to be here.
Hi, Liddy. Hold on 1 second. Can you hold that for me? Thanks. All right, here we go. Take 2. Sigh.
We're glad to be here. What do you want me to do? Tell stories about Garrett?
Yeah, something funny about my dad. Watch out, Liddy. Any funny memories that you have of him? How old were you when you knew him?
About 4 years old.
4? Oh my.
We started kindergarten together.
Yeah, was he always the same nice boy that he is as a dad?
He was always real quiet.
He was. Sai, I know you have stories about him. I know you're hiding
With
things.
the dirty laugh, of course.
Bert and Judy, you too.
I've known Garrett since 4th grade. And you're rich if you have a friend like him. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Did you have a fun night tonight?
Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Great party.
And
I just want to tell Garrett that now he's the #1 septuagenarian. At least for tonight. And happy birthday.
Oh.
He's the youngest one,
He's what?
He's the baby.
He's the baby. All right. Any other parting words?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy 70th.
Happy birthday.
Okay, great.
Well, I have a poem I memorized.
Good.
So I guess if it got on longer, I would have said this. So let me say it for you now, Garrett. And I guess it's from Tim and I, but he's the more shy of the two. So may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. May God hold you in the palm of his hand. May your hands always have work to do. and in your purse a coin or two. May the sun shine warm upon your window pane, and a rainbow appear after every rain. May there be friends' hands always near you close, and may God put grace and joy in your heart. Na zdrowie, and happy birthday, Garrett. We love you.
No, I'm telling you, this is, I can't, you wide angle, you're far away.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What I remember about Garrett mostly, my first impression, is how many beautiful daughters he has.
Wait, could you say that again?
I do it again?
Yeah, you gotta do it again.
What I remember most about Garrett is how many beautiful daughters he has. They are so intelligent, lively, gorgeous, nice to be with, and they did such a nice job tonight.
Keep going.
So a wonderful job tonight talking about their dad, and they were very respectful, but they also gave him a few, you know, friendly ribs. So it was obvious they had a very nice relationship. And that's nice after so many years of living with him, and they still love him so much.
Yeah.
That's it.
You were
We were setting things up and I went and took the wrong turn. No, you want to go out there and make a right turn. So pretty.
Lydia. Hi, Liddy. Hi. Okay. Here's Marjorie.
Great evening for a great guy, and you know, I just have to tell you that your wife was so spectacular, and if you hadn't married her, I probably would. So love to both of you, and a happy, happy birthday, dear Garrett. Bye-bye.
I'll try. Garrett, we love you. We love playing tennis with you and working with you at St. Francis. And I wish you many happy years. Thank you for having us for your birthday.
Garrett, it was a wonderful party. Thank you, and happy.
Okay, ready? No. Shh. Go ahead.
Garrett, you're close to our heart. We're so glad to be here for your birthday. Many, many more.
It was fun seeing how much love there was in that room tonight, Garrett. Very happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Garrett, from both Lydia and I. It was such a wonderful time and pleasure to share this with you. It's a very special night. Thanks. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Garrett. Happy 70th. And happy 80th.
And 90th?
See you then.
Happy birthday! Yes!
Excellent.
Read it loud.
October 1999 for the senior athlete. A handy-dandy Swiss Army tool to provide ready.
Because Garrett is forgetting his racket. And this way he's bound to have the proper tool that he's for. The Swiss Army sport kit. There we go.
Only an engineer could do that.
That's nice to me. Well, that's when he gets a little older.
So now you have all your toys in one night.
There was no appropriate time to do it.
Okay.
That was family. Okay. You played it.
Don't go too far.
Ellie. Stay close.
Don't go too far.
I want to get this over with.
This has got to develop at a spur of the moment. Pretty powerful too, huh?
Rich family. Look at Margaret has free kids. Free babies. Okay, here we go. Kids in the tree scene. Not to mention kids in the van playing with a computer. Hey, you know what? You gotta be careful not to fool around, because if you fall out of the tree, you could really hurt yourself.
Hi. I'm backwards. Hi. The wrong way in the tree. And go up and down, show you how big the tree is.
Okay, buddy, one sec. Let us try once more, then you can do it, okay?
Hi.
You want to get on with her? You want to put your tail on with her?
Ow. Hi down there. Hi down there. Look. We're up here. Do you like us?
You guys are pretty high up there.
I know. Hey, Mom. No higher, because there's not enough big enough branches.
They're actually very high. Okay, so here's the tree.
Hi. Ow. What's going on? Hi.
And there's...
Hey. Hi. Look at Betsy. Betsy. Hi.
Hi.
They're facing us. Quarter. Alright, I'll let Taylor have a turn now. And then me! Hey, Marky!
Hi. Hi, Chip. Hi, Liddy.
Yeah. Taylor! Alright. Let it drive. Taylor, come here. Here, I'll show you.
Hi, Liddy.
Do you remember? Taylor sits like this because it's the easiest way if he sits under there.
Okay. Carolina, push your watch.
Yeah.
See if you're high enough. You want to go?
Okay.
You want me to push you? All right, I'll push you. I'll push you. I'll push you. Want me to push you?
Yeah.
Good. All right, I'll push you. Look out. Look out. Look out. Too high.
Whoa.
Yeah, baby.
Taylor's coming. He's
You know what?
tires
If we push you to the side a little bit, you won't hit the ground. Watch this. Don't hit the tree.
Mhm.
I'll stand right here.
Ready? Look out.
Tires
Run into the camera.
Oh my god.
Bounce right up in that thing. Better make you go straight again.
Run tires in. Tires in. Taylor's tires in. Woo. Margaret.
Oh my god.
Taylor won't let go, believe me.
That's pretty good.
Hey, not up there. Down here. Hey. I told you to go down here. Come down. Stop pointing. Ow.
Oh my gosh. Leia is barefoot, no less.
Hi. She's barefoot. Can you let Lydia try and then you can go right after her, Tail? Yeah, you can go after Lydia, alright? You're doing good, baby. Coming down. Tail, you can go after Lydia, okay? You're pretty high up there. You can go again. No, maybe we can both go like this. No, because Hey, hello.
Hello, Jeremy.
My name is Peter.
Oh God, Peter.
Hello.
Sorry.
I'm up in the tree.
Oh my, Emily.